Alright guys, this is one of the ways we buy our feed. We buy it in bulk, and because I have to go way back in my barn, we don't have any way to really take the 55-gallon drum in there to where it's at. I have a dolly, but it won't work to get it in where I got to go in the feed room. So what we do is we transfer it into 5-gallon buckets, and then I take the 5-gallon buckets back there and dump them into the big feed bin in the back. That way, feed's a lot cheaper for us to do it that way. It's like half the price here.
And it does take a while.
It takes about 15 minutes.
And it's easier to tote it in these buckets than it is 50 pounds at a time. You must have fed the cows.
I did. I fed them before they shut up.
They were bellowing like crazy.
They were screaming like crazy.
You got some spoiled cows.
I know it. I'm really too good to my animals. We just come from the feed store, and I was telling him, I said, look, I know a man who's got a whole pile of rolls of hay going to be cut that doesn't have any graze on or no chemicals sprayed on it. I said, man, you might want to get with him. He's going to have several hundred rolls. And he told me, he said it'd be useless for me to buy it. He said, because people won't buy it here. If it ain't been sprayed, they won't buy it. That's how bad our society's got, that they won't even sell anything now. People won't buy it if it don't have chemicals on it.
It's got to be.
It's got to be perfect. They won't buy it. It's like going to the grocery store. If a fruit or a vegetable's got a spot on it, they reject it.
But I mean, that's the society. They want chemicals on it to make sure it's been cleansed of all unhealthiness. They think it's unhealthy if it hasn't had chemicals sprayed on it.
Well, if it's got an imperfection, they think there's something wrong with it, and they would rather have the chemicals than they had the imperfection.
Yeah.
That's how sick we are.
Sanitary. Everything's got to be sanitary.
Cows literally love it. I mean, they're cleaning it up in there.
And how often do we buy one of these?
Once every month and a half, maybe.
55 gallons last us at least a month.
About a little over a month. Sometimes 2 months. Depends on how much I feed them.
And this is a mixture of what?
Oh. It's a mixture of dry pellets, corn, some sweet feed. It's the screenings off of, when they make regular feed, it's the screenings off of it, is what it is.
You get a lot of dust too.
You get some dust with it, yeah.
About through.
Just about to get there.
About maybe less than 15 minutes.
Oh, it's less than 15 minutes. Not that big a deal.
Save a good bit of money.
Oh, save a ton of money. You might not in some areas, but you will here. Are we there yet?
Think we're there?
Alright guys, that's it. Now a lot of y'all wonder, this is what we use right here when we take the drums out of the truck. This thing here fits over the top of the drum. It locks onto it. And we're able to lift it up with the tractor out of the back of the truck. This drum weighs approximately 350 pounds with feed in it. We get it from the truck down to right here with the bucket on the tractor. And then we put it in the 5-gallon buckets, transfer it into the feed room in yonder where it stays dry, because in our climate, you've got to have it where the humidity does not get to it. Even if it's in a drum and the humidity can get to it, the drum will start sweating on the inside because of the fluctuation in temperatures here, and you'll lose a whole drum of feed in just a couple of days. So you got to be very careful about that aspect. That's only part of what we got to do. Now we got to go unload all the hay and all the pot and soil we bought and stuff like that. Instead of us going to the grocery stores, we go to the hardware stores and to the feed stores. That's our main supply here at Deep South Homestead. And then once we get through with doing this, then we've got to head to the fields and we got to start planting, because we have so much stuff now that the weather is calming down for us to start planting. Okay guys, normally we deal in round bales, but there are no round bales available in our area anymore. It's all sold out. All that's left is occasionally we can find some square bales, and that's what we're having to use right now. And yes, it's been sprayed with Grazon. You're not going to find anything here that's not. So we have to take what we can get. That's why you don't see us ever using our animal manure anymore in anything that we do here, is because in our area it is virtually impossible to find hay that has not been sprayed. So guys, we've gone through all the hay that we bought this past winter that was not sprayed. We did find a guy who was cleaning up some fields for new pastures, and he said, I won't spray it because I'm just going to go through and cut it. And we was able to get that hay and a lot of it to make it through the winter, but there's no more available. Now, we do have a guy who's going to be doing some first cuttings. There's going to be some weeds in it, he said. He said, so the hay's useless to anybody who anybody around here, people just won't buy it. So I've made a deal with him to purchase a lot of round bales from him. But in the meantime, that's not going to happen until sometime in May. So we're having to alternate right now back with some square bales, because that's all we can find. We've found a guy who had a few left, and we was able to get what we could get in the truck coming home with everything else. Well guys, we decided to take a quick break. We got up this morning, it was in the 40s, which was very nice. But we had to go to town and buy and stock up. It was our day for doing that. It was a beautiful day. Tomorrow's going to be rain. We couldn't haul hay and feed and pot and soil and all that in the rain. So we had to go today. And it's 10:30 right now. And it went from in the mid 40s, it's already almost 80 degrees.
And I'm eating a blueberry muffin and freeze-dried apples, and you're eating...
I'm eating, I don't know what you call this, more like a carrot salad kind of stuff. I got pears, raisins, carrots, all that in there.
And we're just enjoying the pond. There's a breeze blowing across here. Danny put the screen down so the sun won't hit us on the back too bad. We're just thrilled. It's been 3 days since the rain. The pond's kind of leveled out at a...
It's staying full. It's actually still running through the pipe, which is shocking after 3 days.
And it's staying at our...
It's staying right up to the
pink
flag.
flag level.
Yeah, staying there perfect. Constantly running over. I mean...
And you caught a fish or two yesterday, didn't you?
I did yesterday. I come out with a reel for just a couple of minutes and caught a couple of brim. Just a catch and release thing. Just to see, I check on them weekly to see how they're growing. If I think the feed's actually doing any good. And I think it's doing really good. But now we're getting infested with bullfrogs, which means that
we're going to be doing some with bullfrogs.
at some point in the future, you're going to see Deep South do a bullfrog video. We're going to try to gig a couple of them babies. And Ms.
I'm
Wanda,
gonna look for that net that somebody was talking about too.
oh yeah, I don't know what kind of net that was.
I gotta find it.
We need to check that out. Ms. Wanda's never eat frog legs. I've eat a pickup bed full of them, but Ms. Wanda never has. So we're going to try
I'm
to.
kind of anxious to see if it tastes like chicken.
It's actually, to me, it's actually better than chicken. But we're going to see how she reacts in the future. Don't know when it's going to be. I saw one here yesterday, right by the pier. It had like 3 inches between his eyes. I mean, he was like 16 inches long. He was huge. So if we can find a few like that, those are rare, you know. We're going to try to see if we can't take a few of them out. Now, we've been having to, you know, may make some people mad, but we've been having to eradicate some turtles. I mean, we've had a few turtles get in here, and turtles are devastating on a new pond.
They will eat all our fish.
They'll just consume the fish.
And we can't have that, so. Not had any snakes yet. A lot of people asked about snakes.
Haven't had the first snake. You know, I say that, now we'll probably have them, but I mean.
It cleared up last week before the rain to a point that it was a beautiful, it was brown, but it was a beautiful color. You could see down under the water.
You can probably see a foot deep in it, but it had a brownish tint to it.
Makes you look like you're on a river.
That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm on a river. And like Wanda said, the underground springs here are constantly boiling water up. And I don't know if that's keeping the bottom of the pond stirred up as to why it's this color. I don't know.
But I like it. When the wind's blowing, it looks just like we're on a river because it comes around and goes around.
When it goes around that bend down yonder, you can't really tell that it stops right there. It looks like it just keeps on going. So you feel like you're sitting on a river because down here the rivers are this color.
And the wind pushing it, it's gorgeous, guys.
Really, it's really nice.
So we're going to sit here and eat. We're headed up to the field. We're going to do a few plants, and we'll take you up there with us too.
Okay guys, we've got our rows bedded up now for our sweet potatoes. A lot of people have been asking, what do we use to bed our rows up? We use a disc killer. It's a very valuable piece of equipment here at the homestead for doing things like this. We tilled the ground earlier. I took my tractor and marked off where the rows was going to be at, so I went ahead and fertilized them after I tilled it. And then I came back and I bedded up the dirt on top of the fertilized. That way, when we punch the holes in the ground, the roots of the potatoes will reach out into where the fertilizer was at, and it will actually help them to grow better. Now, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to go over to the cold frames, and we're going to try to pull up a few of our sweet potato slips and see how they're doing. We'll kind of let you see how that process takes place also. This is why we have our rain catchment system over here. When it comes time to do things, we don't have to have any water turned on because we already have it caught and it's rainwater. All right guys, they're just now starting to come up. This was our white sweet potatoes here. This was our red ones over here. The white ones are always more prolific. They seem to do a lot better than the red ones do. But probably within a week or so, all of this will just be matted with sweet potatoes. You want to be really easy with them and kind of pull real easy. And these have already rooted good. When they come up, see what I'm talking about here? Now usually what I'll do is I'll take a couple of the bottom leaves off because it's totally unnecessary. Not going to hurt the plant. And you see that J crook at the bottom? If you're ever going to have a disease in one, it's going to usually be in the first inch of the potato. So I cut it off. Gives me a straight shot with some nice little roots on it. And we're going to take them and put them straight into water so that they never feel a shock. Move over and see if we can't get a few more. Look at that.
How many is that? That's what, 3?
It's 3 already.
3.
Get rid of these bottom leaves. Do the same thing here. Cut that very bottom off. Get it out of the bed. Drop them instantly over in some water.
And look how pretty. Nice.
They're beautiful. I'm gonna just grab a handful of them this time. Look at that.
Wow.
Beat the dirt off of them and look at this. The radial tell between a white and a red sweet potato is the stems right here on the white. On these will be the whites. We're gonna cut these bottoms off.
Some good healthy roots.
Look at that. Nice. Really nice potatoes.
And we haven't had to have jars and potatoes and stinky water. And
oh, there's none of that stuff. And look at that. You're not gonna get that out of a jar. Look at that.
And it may take a little longer for them to come up this way, it seems, but you don't have to transfer them. You don't have to wait on stuff to grow on the roots. They're already there. When you pull them up, look at the roots.
Look at that.
It's perfect.
We've got piles of videos on this, guys. I mean, you can go back and watch them. But you look at all those roots. You're not going to get that in a jar. Look at that. I put that in the ground. That baby would just start Cadillacing right off the bat. Let's take a look at the reds. Let's see what we got here. Well, they're all kind of wadded up here together, so we're going to, I don't want to damage them, so. Look at that. You beat that back off. That's a good thing about that sawdust I put in there. Look at that.
The red part is what you're talking about, that little bit of red?
Yeah, you'll see a little bit of a red tinge on these. They'll be kind of red. See that little bit of red on it there? And some of them will be dark red. Well, these are all matted up here. They just twisted all up.
And that's several of them together.
Yeah. Now I'm going to cut that end off right there like we talked about.
These potatoes are as high as my knee. That's crazy. What you think?
Think them some good potatoes.
They're already blooming.
They're blooming. That means we're making taters. Okay, guys, here is the white sweet potatoes. See the ends of them there? Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Got nice, good roots on them, everything. Like I mentioned, we have a lot of videos about planting sweet potatoes. Some of them have several 100,000 views. But guys, if you really want to know about planting sweet potatoes, I have a book that I've wrote called A Sweet Potato Manual. It's over on our Etsy store. It's deepsouthhomestead.etsy.com. You can purchase the manual over there. It tells all about how I got to this point, step by step, pictures that we took from our place here. We don't pull anything off the internet. All about the planting of them, how to prepare the ground, everything about sweet potatoes, and then some recipes at the end if you actually want them. And most of all, it talks about this miracle right here. This is the miracle. You see that right there? This is a forked stick. This right here has been the best thing that my daddy ever showed me. And I'm going to show you how we use it.
And you see we don't make any holes ahead of time.
Nope. Look at that one there. That is so fine. I mean, that's sweet potatoes at its best right there now.
Danny just pushes it down in the soil and doesn't have to really bend over.
No, I don't have to do any bending over. I mean, that's the That's the beauty of this whole thing right here, is I don't have to bend over at all.
And where'd you find your stick?
I found it in the woods.
You just go looking.
Just go looking around. If you got some trees that needs pruning in your yard or something like that, cut you a forked stick. You ain't got to worry about how deep you push them. It ain't gonna hurt a thing in the world. Now I'm putting these about every 2 foot apart. I like to have wall-to-wall potatoes. A lot of people ask me, Danny, how do you know when to dig them? Well, I'm fixing to help you figure that out. When you plant them, like today I'm planting these, I will go to the house and in my journal, I will write down that I planted the white sweet potatoes. I'll write down which row it was I planted, and then I'll go 125 days ahead in my journal, and I'll find whatever day that is, and on that day I will write, today is the day I need to check my sweet potatoes for harvest, because it's 125 days till harvest. If you will write down the day you plant and do that, you won't have to wonder when it's time to harvest your sweet potatoes. And another reason we're doing this today, guys, is we have 2 days of a lot of rain coming. If we get these out today, we don't even have to water.
And the ground's still wet from 2 days ago.
Oh yeah, the ground is still real wet from a couple of days ago.
But if you're planting in dry soil.
Yeah, if you're planting it's dry, you need to water them. All right, we've got, I hadn't counted them yet, but we got about 3/4 of a row and about half a row of sweet potatoes planted. Today is April the 12th, so I'll go mark that in my journal. I don't want to scratch my glass, so that's one thing I don't want to do. Let's see here.
You need 5 tomato cages.
Yep, we got tomatoes that's already got to have cages on them. These are the blueberry tomatoes. They're a small tomato. They are actually blue or dark purple, loaded with anthocyanins, good cancer fighters. And all this stuff you see growing around it here is not weeds, guys. That's carrots, because carrots love tomatoes.
And these are doing really
good, aren't they?
Really good. And they'll produce lots of little bitty blue, I guess blue cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, they're a blue cherry tomato. Now, this is the smallest of them. We have about 5 different varieties. This is the littlest one. And they're really not good to eat until they turn dark purple.
And they're of the indigo series.
They're of the indigo series. If you look for them on from a seed store or anything like that. Okay guys, we realized we have the watermelons here that we haven't got planted yet. This is the yellow Babydoll watermelons. We like the yellow ones. It was my daddy's favorite, and I learned to like them. Some people have a problem with the taste and the texture of them just simply because they're not red. And that's okay, if that's what you like. I like the yellow meated ones. I don't have a psychological issue with colors or anything like that, or texture. So we're gonna be planting these. I got 4 of them, and we'll put them right here and try to see how they do in this dirt right here. Now this ground feels like a refrigerator, it's so cold, and I'm hoping that it doesn't bother them. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of like hold me a deep little hole I'm gonna throw just a handful of triple 13 down in there, and I'm gonna push the dirt back over it. And then I don't want my watermelons to be down in the fertilizer. I'm gonna just put it up here kind of a little bit higher. And let's take one of the square ones here. See what kind of root system we got going on there. See, it's not root bound. Got some nice roots growing along the side. I'm just gonna set it right there on top. It's soaking wet, so I'm not worried about watering it. And I'm just gonna move this dirt back around. Kind of like so, and press it down. I'm gonna hill a little dirt up around it so that it's up out of the ground just a little bit. That's pretty. This is the Mammoth Gold pumpkin.
This is going to be one of them. We've got three. We're hoping to grow giant pumpkins for the pumpkin challenge, Hoss Tool pumpkin challenge going on. Anybody can join.
They can. Anybody can join. Hoss Tool has this pumpkin challenge going on, but you have to use their pumpkin seeds so that it's all fair. And it has to be the Mammoth Gold.
Well, there's two others.
And there's two others. I don't know the name of them. This is the one we chose out of the three.
Yeah.
And so we're going to see how it goes. And if I'm not mistaken, it's whoever can grow the biggest pumpkin by
June, I think.
It can't be June. It has
July.
to be July. Probably the end of July. And 4 Kids in a Farm has the details on the challenge. So have a little fun, guys. We decided to. We're going to jump in and see if we can grow a pumpkin. We had a video we did a couple of weeks ago planting the celebrity tomatoes here behind me. I'll put a link up in the cards above me so that you can go back and check out that video, because I'm not going to show you all the details on this one. I showed in that one how we're going to be planting them. And we also have a video out called How to Grow Awesome Tomatoes. It's right at 1 million views. In that video, I show all the details about growing tomatoes and some of our secrets and stuff like that. So if you want to know a lot of this stuff, you can go check that out, because right now this is the new Celebrity Plus. They have not come out on the market yet. This is a tomato that I'm trying out for Hoss Tool Seed Company. It has more disease resistance than even the Celebrity does. The Celebrities will be right here. The Celebrity Pluses will be right here. The Celebrities are going to be faded out, is what my understanding is, and these will take their place if they seem to do better. So by doing a really good comparison is putting them side by side. That way we know that one doesn't get anything other than than the other one does. So that's our thinking, and that's why we're going to be planting them the way we're doing here. Well, guys, it's late in the afternoon now. It's done after dark. We just got in. This has been one of those days that we took you on one of our days. This is what y'all wonder why and how we get so much done. After you've seen everything we've done today, that's what we do every day. I'm tired now. I'm sitting here trying to catch up on some of the comments on our video today. I've got all my new sweet potato manuals here, all my new English pea manuals. I've got to go through and sign all them where we can get them out to the Etsy store and get them mailed off. Ms. Wanda's over there editing videos, and we might get to bed tonight by 11 o'clock maybe, if we're lucky. And then we'll rise up at 4 o'clock in the morning and do it all over again. Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.